Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Keith with Craps TX. Thank you so much for tuning in. Something a little bit different for you here today, but before we get started, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up, hit subscribe if you hadn't subscribed already, and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever we put out another video. So, like I said at the beginning, today is going to be something a little bit different, and something that I personally do not play very much, and it includes the hardways. I'm actually going to have to move our little cash tray here, or chip tray. I've seen this. I've seen this. That's proper grammar there, isn't it? I have seen this on two separate channels, and they both ran it just a little bit differently. But it's basically the even numbers and then the hardways. So one of them called it like a four-way, hardway, parlay, press and play. That was on a channel called Yo Levin Bread. Another one called it Even Better with the ER, not the OR. And I believe that was Craptastic was the name of the channel. And they both did it at different levels. One of them did it at the $5 level. Another one did it at the $30 level, actually. So what I'm going to do is kind of split the difference. I'm going to do it at a $15 level. Probably don't have enough to... Again, I try to keep these videos, a little tight. So I'm just going to start out with a $500 bankroll. I've got 200 over here in reds, 3, 4, 475, 85, 95. I went too far there, didn't I? 85, 90, 75, 85, 95. How about that? Hopefully that's right. Anyway, let's get this racked up and we'll get this started. I'll lay it out for you real quick. And try to, and again, it's kind of up to your judgment as far as how much you want to press. You want same bet, you just want to keep going. One of them set it up to where, you just keep collecting. Like we had the $30 on the even numbers, and you just kept collecting $35 every time. But anyway, the first guy set it up as a $5 bet on the evens. So that'd be 6 on the 6 and 8, and then he just did $1 on each of the hardways. Hopefully you can see that hardway. I gotta check that real quick. Make sure you can see all the hardways. Yes, you can see all the hardways. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so yeah, he did it like that, and anytime he hit, he would press the number. If it wasn't a hardway, he would press the number over here first, and if there was something left over to recover the number over here, he'd cover it again. On other ones, he would, press up, eventually to where he got these, like the hardways, up at a $10 level, and then he would just kind of press collect on some of these. I know it probably doesn't make sense right now. We'll roll it out here shortly. The other gentleman started it out with, I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? Because I am not using these, but I did, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure we get them all out of here. There we go. All right. So the other gentleman started out with a $30 on the 4, 6, 8, and 10. He was actually placing the 4 and 10. I would probably buy it because that's like what, $54 versus. Do the math again. 54 versus 58, I think it is, with the VIG. So yeah, he would do it at this level, and then he was playing $5 on the 4, 6, or on the hardways. These I never saw him press these up. He just left them as they were, and the same with these. I don't think he ever pressed up. He would just collect every time. So collecting 35 on the 6 and the 8, and then again, as I said, was at 6 times 9, 54. No, it's 9. Man, math is hard, especially in the morning. I haven't even had coffee yet. What does $30 pay? I mean, you could double. I always would have paid 60 minus what, a $2 VIG, so 58. I'm assuming it's a $2 VIG. What is it? $1 for every 20, and we're over 20. So yeah, so we'll say 58. So it'll pay 58 on that, and then these pay 35. And he was just collecting. Both of the guys ended up a little bit down. I have not tested this out at all, so I'm going to see how it works for me. What I was thinking about doing, though, is playing at the $15 level. So it'd be 15 and then 18 on the 6 and 8. I could probably still play these at $5 a piece. I know some tables you can, some $15 tables you can still play these for $1. Matter of fact, I may just start it out like that, playing it as $1 and then press up if I hit on some. Because, throwing $20 out there every time, and come back to bite you pretty quick. Also, a couple of times these guys, one of them was working the bets, like on the come out and everything. So I had him working at all times. The other one would work at some times, and then he would, turn them off on some of the come out rolls. For me to start, I'm probably just gonna have everything off on the come outs, and then, turn everything back on. You do have to check some of your casinos. They may leave your bets on the hardways unless you say I want them off on the come out. So to start out, what I'm going to do is just be off on the come out on everything. So we're not even going to set anything up right now. Let's go ahead and turn the puck off there. We'll go ahead and get this started so I can quit talking and put this into action and kind of show you how it works. Get a couple dice here. And let's get started. All right, so we're coming out, setting a point. Dice are out. Oh, there we go, hard 8. Maybe we should have been working. Oh, that rolled. It was a hard 8. So our point's going to be 8. So let's go ahead and get set up at the $15 level, like I said. So we're going to go 15 on the 4 and the 10. And then the 6 and 8 would be 18. I may have to get change. We'll see. No, I won't have to get change. All right, so we got 18 on the 6 and 8. Try to tidy that up a little bit. And then we'll do $1 each on our hardways. I'll try to leave it to this side, that way we know. All right, so now everything is on. We got a point set, bets are working. Call this whatever you want. One guy, like I said, called it even better. The other one was 4-way, hardway, parlay, press and play. I'm just gonna call it evens and hardways. How about that? And there we go, look at that, right out the gate. We got a hard 6, 18 is gonna pay 21. And hard 6 over here, 9 to 1, so we have $1. So yeah, $9. So we can pay 10 for 1. But we'll go ahead and just pay it out at 9. All right, so 9 to 1. And again, one guy pressed, the other guy didn't. I'm gonna go ahead and press this up just a half a unit, get it up to 24. And then I'll take my hardway up to a nickel. All right, and then that way we're still putting, we need those singles probably. So what is that, $20 we're putting in the rack? Obviously you could be a little more aggressive and, press up a little higher on that, or even bring all of these up after one hit. All right, we got a Yo 11. That doesn't help us on this. Got an easy 4. All right, so 15 is going to pay 27. We might have to pay that in red. We'll just see. Yeah, 15 will pay 27. And then we lose the 4. See, I don't play the hardways that much. I'm searching for them, and they're right here in front of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and press up. We'll go ahead and press that up to 20. That's just 1 unit or half unit, third unit, whatever, at a $15 table. And then we're going to buy it. So we're buying the 4 now. We'll have to pay $1 vig, but we'll get 40 for 1. And then I'll take, let's see, we just lost $1 on that. We can replace that. We could bump it up to 5, but since we didn't win on it, we're just going to leave it at $1. And then we'll rack 21. So a couple of hits, and see, we've kind of put a dent into our initial buy-in. So there is an easy 10. So that's going to be the same thing over here. We're going to lose that. 15 is going to pay 27. We'll pay it out in reds. There's 25, 6, 7. We'll take that up to 20. We'll buy that. And we'll replace our hard 10. And then we'll rack 21. All right, dice out. Hard 4. There we go. All right, so 20. That's going to pay 40 for 1. Running out of red chips over here. Might have to swap some out here in a minute. So that's going to pay 40 for 1. So there's 40 per $1. No. Yeah. Right? You pay the vig on that. Yeah. I think. I don't know. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. And then hard 4. What do we got? 7 to 1. So $7 with that. What did I just do with the money? I put it on the 5. Why did I set it on the 5? That was stupid. Okay. Excuse me while I correct myself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just bump that 4 up to a quarter. Again, we're going to be buying it for a quarter. And our hard 4, I will put a nickel on that. Obviously, again, I could be a little more aggressive, but putting that money in your rack is pretty good. That's what, $30, $35, $38? So that's not bad. So much so to where we're going to have to make a little room. We're going to go ahead and take 100 out here in red. And just so we can kind of free up some space, we'll give ourselves a $100 black chip. Move everything down 1. All right. Kind of replenish my dealer bank over here. And let's keep going. Hot shooter so far. Dice out. And I cursed the shooter. All right, so 7 out. We're going to lose everything, and we'll have to get reset on our bets. Again, we're just going to kind of go through this quickly. I may end up or down. I'm not going for a particular goal. I'm just trying to show the method. Obviously, over the long run, you know, it can go either way. You know, it's all subject to the dice, just like any other strategy. All right, so there we go. Let's get another shooter set. There we go. We like that square pair. And coming out, dice are out. Hard 4. Well, that rolled. Okay, now see, that's going to be a judgment call. It was like that. Can't even get it to set like that again. But anyway, the 2 was facing me. And anytime, from what I've been told, is that, I mean, we could call that a no roll at this point. But the way that I've heard it is, you know, if it's a leaner like that, it's whatever the stick man can see. So I could see that 2, but when I touched the dice, the 3, you know, rolled over to the 3, so I made it a 5. Let's just call it a no roll for now, just so there's no controversy like that, and you guys won't yell at me. You may still yell at me and say, "Oh, it was a 4. That's you were right, or you were wrong. You should have left it at the 3. That's what fell off." Well, there's an easy 4. So how about that? We're still on the 4 as a point. So not that it mattered. The hard 4 wouldn't have mattered either. The only thing was, would it have been a 4 or a 5 is the point. All right, so long-winding this stuff too much here. Let's get set up again. $15 level. Can't even place 15 in chips. Okay. All right, and then our caps. 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, and then singles each on the hardways. And we are off and running. Let's go shooter. Dice are out. All right, we got an easy 8. So we'll lose our 8 over here. We'll pay out 21 on this. And we'll bump the 8 up by, you know, $6 or half unit, single unit, whatever you want to call it. So we're now at 24 on the 8. I'm going to need, no, I don't need change. Okay, so we'll rack 15, but we're going to pull $1 out, recover our hard 8 over there, and keep on rolling. All right, we got 3 craps. That doesn't help or hurt in this situation. Boxcars. It is a hard way, but we're not playing that particular hard way. And we have a 9. You know what? I have this on the wrong number, so thank you for rolling that 9, shooter. Make me realize I have the wrong bet. Guess I could have paid myself on it before I moved it, huh? There's another hard 12 or hard 6, whatever you want to call it. Hard 12. Hard 10. There we go. Puppy paws. Flowers. All right, so 15 is going to pay 27. I think we might pay that. No, we'll pay it in nickels. No, we'll pay it in quarters. Indecision. All right, so pays 27, and our hard 10 over here pays 7 to 1. So there is 7 to 1. Well, yeah, I should bump that in. I'm gonna do that in a nickel. So there is 5 nickels. Okay, so we're gonna bump this up by 1. We'll buy 20, buy the 10 for 20, and then we're gonna take the nickel and put it on our hard 10, and we will put 25 in the rack. We'll go ahead and swap that out. Ooh, nope. Well, I guess I could swap that out. Okay, so we're paying ourselves 25. I'm gonna go ahead and color up real quick just to keep this kind of tidy over there. All right, dice are out. Easy 6, 2x4. So we're gonna lose our hard way. And our 6 is gonna pay 21 over here. 21, and we will bump that up by $6. Single unit. We've got $15 going to the rack. We'll take $1 out and replace that hard 6. And we are still rolling. All right, we have an easy 8. A 2x4 8 or 2x6 8. Let's see, 8 hard way, we lose that. We have 24 on that, so that pays 28 now. Let's see, we're gonna pay that in, yeah, we'll pay it in a green, okay? And then we'll take the 8 up to 30. Dealer, take my 8 up to 30. All right, we lost that hard 8, so we'll replace that with just $1, and then that means we're gonna put, let's see, we can clean that up. $21 in our rack. Hopefully I did that right. All right, let's keep going. Semi-hot shooter, we got a warm shooter. 2x4 6, at least he's hitting some of those evens over here. We're gonna lose our 6 hard way. We got 24 over here, is gonna pay 28. And we will take this up to 30. And we'll replace our hard 6 over there. And then we'll go ahead and clean these up. Get us some change. Tighten it up a little bit, and we will rack $21. So this is kind of a combination. Whoa, dice off the table. This is a combination of both of those guys' strategies. Again, I haven't rolled this out, but there's a 7. Dice off the table, and you roll a 7. There you go. The age-old adage. Anyway, like I was about to say, I haven't even rolled this out. I haven't tested it. I just happened to see these couple of videos. Saw one last night and another one again this morning, and we figured, let me roll that out. Let me just try the evens. I've seen other people play just the evens without playing the hard ways. But yeah, interesting so far. We'll go another shooter or two just to see what this does. Setting a point, we have a easy 6, or an easy 6. All right, we're gonna set up again on the evens. And 10. All right, then we're gonna get some change for our whites. All right, there's 3 on the 6. Take one from over there. Okay. Oh, we gotta get the hard ways. See, I don't play the hard ways that much, so I'm not even used to doing it. If I'm up, then I'll start playing a few prop bets here and there, but yeah, it's not something I normally do. But all right, so we have an easy 10. The 15 is going to pay 27. Go ahead and pay that in red. And we lose the 10 over here. Okay, so we'll bump the 10 up by a nickel and buy it for 20. I'll pay the vig on the win. I don't pay the vig up front at my casino. And then we'll replace that one and we'll rack $21. But you can see how much is left over. And again, you could be a little more aggressive if you'd like, and press up a little more aggressively, or go ahead and bump these up to a nickel if you wanted. And again, it depends on your table minimums. Some of your casinos may make you play a nickel on the prop bets anyway on a $15 table. But as I'm speaking here, I roll a 7, so that doesn't matter right now. We'll go ahead and take these down. And that's a couple of 7s there that came fairly quick. So let's go one more shooter. Just to try to give this a little bit of a fair test. Obviously, over the course of 10 shooters or so, you probably have a little bit better result. Or you may have a worse off result. I don't know. There's a hard 8. We weren't playing anything on the come out, so I guess we lose our advantage there, but that's the old woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? If what they say, if my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. Okay, so I was just getting change there so I could cap these off and cover our hardways. How about that? Syllabic. All right, we have a 2, 6, 8. It's an easy 8. We're gonna lose our hard way. You pay 21. We'll bump that up by $6, take it to 24. And we'll rack 15. Take $1 out of our rack and replace that hard 8. Nice out. 7 out. All right, so yeah, we're gonna wrap that up here. Not because I'm getting 7s real quickly, but just wanted to show you a few shooters worth of shots to show this strategy. Would I play it? I don't know. I think there's other strategies that, you know, as a beginning craps player that I would play starting out. Obviously your standards, your 6-8, your pass line, you know, even the Arnold or something like that. But yeah, so we'll get a final count here and see where we were at. We started out with 500. There's 100. There's 2, 3, 4. I don't think we're going to be on the losing end there. 425, 450, 475. No, 450, 455, 455. And there's another nickel. 461. How about that? So we lost what, $39? There's some math. Okay, so we lost $39. Call it what you want. Like I said, one guy called it 4-way, hard-way, parlay, press and play. The other one was just even better. Even better as in better, or even better as in B-E-T-T-O-R. But it was spelled E-R on his title of his channel. Play on words, I get it. I'm just going to call it, you know, evens and hardways. How about that? So yeah, do with it what you want. You can play it basically at any level. You played at $5 level, 10, 15, 25. You played at a bubble craps machine for, you know, depending on what your minimums are. I've seen bubble crap machines with minimums as low as $1. Others $2.50 or $3, and some are $5. But yeah, so you could do that at that level too. The one guy showed it at the $5 level on the table and placed, you know, evens for 5 and then $1 on the hardways. Anyway, you saw what I did. So that is going to be it for now. If you got any questions, comments, you got any other suggestions for strategies you'd like us to roll out, you can put it in the comments below. Also, you can email us right here at crapstx@gmail.com. Please just let us know anything you'd like us to roll out. We're learning the game, and it's kind of fun doing this. And appreciate all the feedback thus far. The sub count has been jumping up a little bit. We're closing in on 100, and I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, by the time this video comes out, we may be at 100. We were at 83, I think, this morning. So that's good. But I did have a video that just released yesterday, but it'll be a few days ago by the time you see this. Mondays and Thursdays is when I try to release videos, and if I can throw some shorts in between on those off days, I'll throw a short in there. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you watching. It really helps us out with the algorithm. It helps us out in the craps community because we like sharing these ideas. We like learning the other strategies from other craps content creators out there. And yeah, there's some good things on the horizon. Once we get this channel to a level that I'd like to get it at, I'll start throwing in some other things. I'd like to start doing some interviews with some other craps players. And again, if you got some suggestions for other content you'd like to see besides rolling out strategies like this, let me know. If you don't mind, on your way out, please hit that thumbs up for us. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when we put out another video such as this one. This has been Keith with CrapsTX. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.